Well, this is actually a short little thing I wanted to put together for you about the question I get asked probably the most from everybody, and I can understand why, which is, when do I sell my crypto?
Wait a minute, everyone. Welcome to Bitcoinzilla, your platform for daily cryptocurrency analysis and news. Our mission is to keep it simple. Bitcoinzilla offers engaging information that is easy to understand. Our analysts keep their eyes on the latest news to provide valuable insights via email. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Join our community of 10,000 subscribers and experience the new edge with Bitcoinzilla. Subscribe now. In today's video, Raoul explains the best time to sell your crypto and how can you prepare for the next new era and what asset you should own and more. So without wasting any time, let's dive into the video.
So as we know, crypto is very cyclical based on this everything code thesis that I've built, which is there's a debt refi cycle that happens every 4 years because everybody reset their interest rates in 2008 to zero and then made all the government debts in around 4 years, 3 to 5 years. And it's created this endless cycle, which happens to be the same as the Bitcoin halving cycle and the US presidential cycle. So we're faced with these cycles. And out of 3 years, crypto is the best performing asset in the world. In year 1, crypto spring, year 2, crypto summer, year 3, crypto fall, and macro spring, summer, fall. And then year 4 is the worst. And the worst is what scars people. And people want to know how to deal with this. So how I think about it first is you've got to establish what are your goals here? What is your time horizon for your investments? So if you're saying, my big macro thesis is this space goes from, let's say, $2.5 trillion today to, let's say, 10 to 15 trillion at the end of this cycle, depending how big this cycle is, to 100 trillion by, let's say, 2032. So we've got the largest wealth generating macro trend of all time, and it's still in front of us. Yes, the early days were super high returns, but it's still super high returns. So we don't want to this up, right? We want to capture that. So a lot of people start thinking, well, should I trade out in macro crypto fall, try and sell that peak and then buy in the bottom, and then I don't have to go through the horror of the 75% drawdowns? Let's think about this. Firstly, I'm going to give you what I did and the lessons I learned, and then we'll talk about how we can deal with this cycle going forwards so I can help you navigate your needs. And we've all got different needs here. So the first time I bought Bitcoin was at $200 in 2013. I had a 5 to 10 year view that this was going to be worth $1 million. And it was $200. And I discounted myself by 90% for being a moron, thinking that it could go to $1 million. So I said, listen, it's worth $100,000. This is $200. This is the best opportunity I've ever seen. So I treated it like a call option at the time. So I didn't put a huge amount of money in, but a decent size. And I said, right, I'm just going to forget about it. It kind of went up like a rocket ship straight after that. And I was up 5x or something very quickly. And I was like, oh my God, I'm clearly George Soros. I'm the best trader ever. And then it fell 85%. And I just didn't worry about it because it was a call option. At the time, I thought, well, I could go to zero. So I'll just see. Let me play this out. That's a macro time horizon, long-term time horizon. I thought if I just hold it long enough, we should generate huge returns.
As traditional fiat currencies face the specter of inflation due to various economic factors, alternative assets, like Bitcoin, have gained increasing attention as potential hedges against this phenomenon. But can Bitcoin hedge against inflation? To assess whether Bitcoin can serve as a hedge against inflation, let's examine some of its key properties. Limited supply. With only 21 million Bitcoins that will ever exist, Bitcoin's supply is capped, making it immune to inflation caused by excessive money printing. Decentralization. Bitcoin operates on a decentralized network of computers, making it resistant to government manipulation or interference, which can contribute to inflation. Store of value. Bitcoin's digital scarcity and growing adoption make it a viable store of value similar to gold, which has a history as a hedge against inflation. Volatility. Bitcoin's price has been highly volatile, experiencing significant fluctuations over short periods. While some view this volatility as a barrier to its effectiveness as a hedge, others see it as a potential opportunity for gains during inflationary periods. Ultimately, whether Bitcoin can effectively hedge against inflation depends on various factors, including its adoption as a store of value, regulatory developments, and macroeconomic conditions. As such, investors should carefully consider the risk tolerance and investment objectives before allocating funds to Bitcoin or any other asset class.
And then I'm watching the chart pattern, looking for an entry, and it does this massive kind of wedge pattern, gets to the top, tries to break out, drops into the middle on the COVID massive sell-off. And I'm like, this is the opportunity because I know this chart pattern, the likelihood it's going high. And so I got in there and I massively sized up what versus my original bet. Maybe it's 6-7 times bigger than the first time I went in. And I've added since. Okay, so how did I do? I felt great because I bought it low, sold it into a big rally in one cycle, then bought it. I'd ridden one cycle all the way up and down, rode the other one up, sold out, then rebought into maximum pain, the down 50% day. And then the breakout of 10,000 above that. I thought, yeah, I've done pretty well with this. I then went back and looked at what happens if I just kept my original bet, which was much smaller. I would have made 5 times as much money by not doing anything. That kind of upset me a little bit because I thought, I was a macro guy, I traded it well. No. The issue being is this asset is in a logarithmic uptrend based on a network adoption model, Metcalfe's law. And so all of the highs are higher and all of the lows are higher. And when you put it on a normal scaling, it keeps looking like a bubble and then this. And when you look back on the chart, these little blips versus this because it's this gigantic trend. So what you start to realize is the drawdowns are a feature and a benefit if you think about them right. So this time around, I then calculated, okay, what happens if I just added my original size? Again, it wasn't the biggest bet in the world, but it was good enough. Every time we had one of these massive drawdowns, so crypto winter. And let's assume again that Raoul's a total moron. He misses the low by 30% because market timing, this stuff is hard as hell. If I'd have just done that in the 2 cycles, 2013 and 2018, I would have done 25 times better because you're compounding. And that really struck me. I'm like, okay, now I understand.
MicroStrategy co-founder and Bitcoin billionaire Michael Saylor celebrated the passage of a resolution in the Senate that overturned a contentious SEC decree. Saylor wrote on social platform X, Wall Street wants Bitcoin, the House of Representatives wants Bitcoin, and now the Senate wants Bitcoin. The staunch Bitcoin proponent was referring to the growing mainstreaming of the world's largest cryptocurrency, which, after getting listed as a spot ETF earlier this year, secured victories in the U.S. Congress. Earlier in the day, the U.S. Senate followed the House in repealing an SEC policy that restricted regulated financial institutions from being custodians of Bitcoin. The legislation saw bipartisan support, with as many as 12 Democrats defying party lines to vote in favor. Why it matters? Michael Saylor is one of the most prominent Bitcoin whales today, and while details regarding his current holdings are unknown, experts believe he has gained more than the 17,732 Bitcoins he revealed in 2020. His firm, meanwhile, held 214,278 Bitcoins by the end of the first quarter, worth more than $14 billion. Saylor joined Reddit co-founder Alexis Ohanian in cheering the crypto-friendly measure. Ohanian amplified a post thanking the Democrats who defied the party line to vote in favor. That said, the true test would begin now since President Joe Biden is firmly on the side of the SEC and has previously vowed to veto the resolution. And do not forget to subscribe to Bitcoin Seller. The most important news will reach your inbox on a daily basis and for free. I do not know why you have not subscribed yet. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more daily updates. Remember, knowledge is power, and we're here to empower you on your financial journey. Until next time, happy investing.